He has a good ear for that, man. Welcome to the next installment of Blassic,
well,
man.
actually, it's a new thing. It's new. It's different from what we
The next installment, but we are adding some new things to the
Switching
palette, man. We are switching it up with Blassic. You know, Blassic has always been to review the black classics in Hollywood and television and stuff like that. But I think it's groovy to switch it up, man. We went to see Nope, and we got the idea to just why not do new movies that are by black people? Let's try it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think we're doing the right movies. Like, and even if there's some movies that everybody won't consider Blassics, we might just do it anyway. I think it's cool to add to the palette. People want to hear what we think about certain movies anyway. So, hey, Blassic is expanding, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
A Blassic doesn't necessarily have to be one to you. Guarantee you it'll be one to somebody. And that nothing speaks louder than this movie right here when it comes to differing of opinions. We are reviewing the new movie that just came out, Jordan Peele's Nope. We are reviewing this one. We actually had the pleasure of going to see it a couple of days before its actual theatrical release, which was pretty dope. Felt a little official. But we're gonna go ahead and get into the movie. This is Jordan Peele's third outing. I love these movies. I love him as a director because everyone always has differing of opinions when it comes to his movies.
Especially this one.
Yeah, we started with Get Out. Some people was on the fence about it, but I will say most people did like it. When it came to his second film, Us, a lot of people were split in that one. But I think more people still lean toward... Actually, that was a movie where a lot of people leaned towards the negative side because they was really just like, what the fuck? Like, what was it? So it was weird to see that. Now, this one right here is literally... I don't know if I've seen this one before, Kev. It's split down the middle. There's literally people that say, I love this movie. This is great. Y'all go watch it. And then there's a whole nother side that's like... Fuck this. I don't know what that was.
I know exactly what it is.
Please let that nigga stop taking your money. And I'm just like, wow. I've never seen a 50-50 split.
I'm going to explain to you what it is towards the end, but I know exactly what
Go for it.
We're going to wait till the end.
We're going to wait till the end. Okay.
Okay. We're going to wait till the end.
We going to do Black Facts? How we doing these new movie rollouts? I think we can still...
We ain't going to do the Black Facts just yet because the movie's still sitting in this motherfucker. But okay, so, like you said, Jordan Peele, Nope. Written and directed by Jordan Peele. It was released July 22nd. It's a budget of $68 million. It was made for $68 million. At this moment, currently, it is made about $49 million. So it's damn near
in 1 week.
Yeah, not even that. It's probably about 4 or 5 days. So yeah, it stars Daniel Kaluuya, Keke Palmer, Stephen Yeun, Brandon Perea, Michael Wincott, and Keith David as well.
That's an expensive ass film. For it to be to me, it felt like such a simple movie.
It actually, when I looked at it just now, it being $60 million, I thought it was more than that. And we'll get into it. Okay. We'll get into it. I believe the movie was shot during COVID, so there's not a lot of people in the movie.
That's a good point to make.
It's more of the visuals and the visual aspect of the film that I think is why I thought the movie budget was much bigger than it was. But
they did do it. And everybody can't afford them IMAX cameras either. So
right. They don't
I thought I saw a stat to say that it's only a few people that have actually used those IMAX cameras in movies like all the way through. Sometimes you'll have certain scenes shot in IMAX, but to have an entire film shot in IMAX, only people like Christopher Nolan with the Batmans and the Tenets can do that shit, and others like him. So it's like, hey,
and it
y'all trusting Jordan Peele? I like it, man.
It was worth it, and it definitely shows.
Yeah.
He even currently has the Jupes Claim, the set or whatever, like a theme park currently in Universal Studios. And
oh wow!
they usually don't do stuff like that to after the movie has already come out and made a success.
They better get on that marketing train if they're smart. So I guess we'll go ahead and get into the plot, man. I'm not going to try to bore y'all with it because either you've seen it or you haven't. Spoilers are definitely ahead in here, so do not think that this is a podcast where we ain't seen the shit yet. We saw it and we here to talk about it, man. So if you want to hear a review, I love people that actually don't be bothered by spoilers. Because I'm that type of person. I'll listen to some shit and I'll be like, cool, I want to see how you execute. I'll still go to the movies to see how you execute it. I'm not crazy about it. Now, don't do that for some of my favorite Marvel releases because I'll kick your ass. Look. Don't do that for that. I'll beat your ass. But we'll go ahead and get into the plot for this. It's interesting, man. It's interesting to me to see black people on a ranch in just like the desert, even though like shit, we was some of the original cowboys, you know what I'm saying? It starts out with ranch owner Otis Haywood Sr., who is played by the incomparable Keith David, man. Shouts out to him. I hate that he only had 5 minutes in the movie. I was so sad about that.
You got to know the nigga shot like 5 TV shows and 5 movies around that time.
Damn it!
You know he's busy.
But his name is Otis Haywood Sr. He trains and handles horses for a film and television productions with his son. So they basically have like a whole bunch of horses in a ranch that they go out and they train them so that they're looking good for TV and production purposes and stuff like that. This is what they do. I love to see movies where they highlight black people doing different things outside of the norm. So that is cool. It's different to see and it is beautiful to see. He pretty much, like I said, 5 minutes into the movie, he gets killed, fam. He gets killed in the weirdest way possible. They're literally out there trying to play with one of the horses and shit, trying to make sure that one of the horses is good for the night and shit. And out of nowhere, he just falls off of his horse. He's like, what the fuck? You go over there and it's a fucking nickel or penny or a quarter. It's a coin in his eye. Some shit done fell from the sky.
Well, a lot of shit was falling. So it was a lot of stuff going like boom, 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 boom. And he's like, whoa, what's going on? And then just so happens to hit this dad, which is a symbol as well. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a symbol for why the fuck is this happening? So we'll talk about that in a little bit. But it's just a caveat for something's going on weird up there. We don't know what's going on yet. I don't even think anybody fully understands where it came from. Like, it's just, what the fuck is going on? So, they get fired basically from a production. So his dad dies and the kids are now left to figure this thing out. Now you're introduced to Emerald, who is played by the incomparable Keke Palmer. She killed this shit in this movie.
She did.
She stole the show damn near. When she came on screen, I like to look around at the crowd. To see the crowd just be totally engulfed in her personality, everything she was doing, because she was audibling around. She was doing a lot of audible shit with her personality. So it was cool to see everybody just keep up with that and love it. It speaks to the great act that she has been all her life, as long as we've seen her. So kudos to Keke Palmer. Go ahead.
What I would also say, not only does it speak to her talent as an actor, but it also speaks to Jordan Peele as a writer, because as you say, we get into the movie, or we're introducing the characters. Like you say, you got OJ. There's 2 different characters. You got OJ. He's kind of the quiet, the workhorse, the workman. This is what I do. I'm not doing anything. Yes, right. Otis Jr. This is what I'm doing. Then you got Keke Palmer, like, hey, and it gets into it later. I'm here because I need to be here because you're the quiet type. I'm the one that I can actually sell this. Yeah. This shit is a side hustle. I'm doing it out of respect for my father. I don't want to be doing shit. So when she's introduced, like you said,
did it seem like that, or did it seem like he was relying on that business? He didn't seem like he was relying on his dad's business.
It was a mixture of I'm relying on it and I want to do it out of respect.
Okay.
Because you got to remember he was selling the horses and stuff like that. He has to keep it going. But for her, it's like, she says it, this is my, fuck you, this is my side hustle.
I'm trying to be in Hollywood.
If it wasn't for me, half the shit is not popping because you don't really have a personality to say of. So, and I think, like I say all this to say that's the big deal with the writing of Jordan Peele. And I'm not really the person that compares anything. And I think that's the difference between a Get Out and this movie, is because even if you take Chris from Get Out, he doesn't have like a personality to
I can see
speak
that.
of. It's
I
just
can see that.
situation.
He's just a black man.
Yeah,
he's going through some crazy shit.
Right. So,
I can see it.
So
I can see it.
So go ahead.
So like you were saying, he started. He got into a situation where he had to sell the horses. She had damn near sell them one by one, and he was selling them to, how do you pronounce his name?
I was just gonna go Steven Yeun's character.
Jupe. I'm gonna say Jupe. He starts selling them to Jupe, who basically he owns this place called Jupiter's.
It's like a theme.
Jupiter's Claim, and it's like a theme park. He has an interesting backstory though, which I'm still trying to understand myself, and it might be a lot of y'all.
That?
Yeah, we might as well, because I think a lot of people are trying to understand his backstory. So he was an actor, child actor back in the day, and he was on this show called, what is it, Gordy's Home or something like that. And shit, one of the main characters was a chimpanzee. So one day he just goes crazy. And he starts killing everybody on set except for him. So now he has this kind of like, he grows up with this kind of like trauma that's just within him from that. And I don't quite understand it. Jordan Peele actually released something, I guess maybe like a little piece of the Gordy's Home episode,
it was like
or
the
something.
Intro of the TV show.
Yeah,
I thought that was funny.
He released something afterwards.
Out of context,
kinda,
yeah. That's funny.
But I don't get it,
That's
man.
good marketing.
Kevin, do you understand this shit?
Okay, so this is like, we didn't go into it because we're not going bit by bit. So when the movie is actually opening, you only kind of, over the credits itself, the Universal logo, you hear the aftermath of what's happening during the television show. And
set up a scene really well.
Perfectly.
My God.
When I first saw it, I thought maybe one of the main characters had turned into the fucking monkey, to be honest.
I ain't know what we was going. And
exactly.
for his imprint to be called Monkey Paw Productions,
that was
to have that scene where they was doing the little monkey paw, and just for Gordy to be a fucking monkey, it's dope.
That's dope.
Just a little small stuff,
right? So what, like you say, we're introduced to Jupe's thing. When I first saw it, it took me 2 or 3 days. People are like, I don't understand what the monkey has to do with anything, and it's a common theme with the movie. We haven't really got to it yet. So the whole thing is, like I say, the attack on the movie, the television set. So the little boy is not hurt on the television set, the set of the show.
Right.
Because if you recall, there's an item standing up on the set. There's a shoe.
Was it that shoe?
There's a shoe. He's focusing on that at first. So a lot of animal people will tell you when an animal is in rage, you're not to look the animal in the eye. Everybody else is looking him in the eye, trying to reason with him, and the monkey is fucking him up. So once he's calmed down, he looks at the animal, and that's why the animal does not attack. Wow. Fast forward years later, we meet Jupe as a grown man, has his own kids, has a wife. Now we get to the point where when he's introduced to OJ and M, he's doing stuff like he has like a set built in his spot where he recreated the incident. He's literally people are paying to witness or see this catastrophe. He's getting paid. He's exploiting this. He's exploiting this. So fast forward, that's a big theme. Not exploration, being exploited for money, for fame, and that's kind of where that comes in. And we're gonna go further into it. So like you said, OJ is coming there to sell him horses. And OJ is like, hey, I'm coming, you can use them for the show. When I make my money, I'm going to come back and buy them. He's like, oh, yeah, okay, we can do that. Yeah, cool. He's kind of brushing it off. Yeah. But we don't know exactly why yet. So that's the whole thing. That sets up what's coming later on.
Should we go into nighttime?
Yeah, let's go to the nighttime.
We going to nighttime where shit starts to get spooky, man.
Yeah, let's go to the nighttime.
He's tending to the horses at night like he normally do. It's time to send them off to bed and shit, whatever they do. Notices, starts to hear sounds. Okay, cool. Don't think much of it. Now, what happens after this? Does he see something in the sky at this point?
No, I had to go back and see it
The
again.
horse starts moving first.
So what happens is, it seems like to me, it's not said specifically, but whenever this thing is around, it makes animals like crazy. But the first thing he sees when he comes out at that night is he sees the Jupiter's Claim. He sees it from right here, and he hears the guy Jupe pretty much practicing what he's going to say at this show that he's having later on. So the lights come on, and it goes off. So so then all of a sudden now, once the lights go off there, and then you see lights start going off and everything, and then now he sees something in the sky, and he's like, "What the fuck is that?" He goes back in, and then he has a conversation with Emerald. So that's when we were first introduced to
and
the
at that point where you first were introduced to that, did the UFO, or they thought it was a UFO at first, did that actually spit some shit out after that first part when the horses started running after towards it?
No, like I said, I think it does something to animals surrounding animals, and it makes them go crazy. So they're always taking off, they're always running and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It never spit anything out. He saw it first.
Yeah.
He saw it and he was like, "Whoa, shit, what is that I just saw?"
Nope.
No, he said no. So I guess that's when he comes back to Keke Palmer and said, "Hey, I saw something." She says, "Was it a UFO? What is it?" I think it was. He doesn't say it explicitly.
Now it's time to get some proof of this shit. Hey, as any black people would do, that's a gold mine. And I think they was probably thinking, yo, nigga, if we get this to somebody, like,
but that might not be a good idea again. That might be the thing, but
that's some crazy information to have.
Right.
But yes, what happens now is they start to go to the they went to a Fry's. I ain't seen a Fry's in so long. They went to Fry's Electronics and started to get all of this electronic equipment, cameras and shit to test it out, to put them shits in the sky. So hey, we trying to see if this motherfucker is out here for real, cause something's going on crazy out here. And of course, them cameras ain't getting shit. The cameras ain't really getting nothing. And then there's some situations that just happen where, hey, bruh, a praying fucking mantis on my camera that could literally shoot this shit. That's pissing me off. It's pissing me off.
But also, during their, the journey or whatever, they are introduced to other characters. You got a guy named Angel who works at Fry's. He's a guy that just broke up with his girlfriend.
Oh, God.
And he loves UFOs and stuff like that. So he just want to be a part of some shit.
Just
so he said, "Let me be with y'all." He just shows up. He helps out.
Adding everything that they need. Shit, if it weren't for him, they would not get
as
shit
much
done.
as he can help out due to the situation that's going on. So then they're looking out. They're setting stuff up, and now now everybody sees it. Everybody sees it. They notice that as there's a cloud in the sky that's not moving, and that's where most of the shit originates from.
The cloud ain't moved. His nigga said, I don't think this cloud moved in 6 months. Now that I've been out here just noticing, and it's so crazy. That shit is crazy.
Right.
So then you think about the parallel. Jupe is actually over at his place about to put on the show, because obviously he know what the fuck going on.
He does.
He know what's going on.
He does. And this is a dope thing about Jordan Peele. He's a great writer. Comes from a comedy background. He sets things up. In the intro of the movie itself, you hear on the radio, shit's been happening for the last 6 months. People have been disappearing. You hear it vaguely on the radio. So he says in the speech, he's like, "Oh, this is a spectacle. This has been happening for this last 6 months." So what you come to find out is pretty much this man has really been the one that's kind of been calling this thing here. Pretty much the same little boy who witnessed the monkey go ham on a TV set is trying to exploit another thing for money, for gain.
Yeah. Interesting. Wow, you are breaking that shit down.
For money, for gain.
He is breaking that shit down.
For
wow.
It is like you almost didn't learn anything from back in the day. You're constantly doing the same thing.
Wow.
You're like, this is what you're doing. Fuck? And basically it comes down. He has a horse. The horse is supposed to come out
the bait and everything.
Right. The horse is supposed to come out. The horse is like, nope. And now we come to find out that it's not a spaceship. There's not little aliens.
So what the hell is that?
It is like an alien, or it's just a
big
monster.
ass.
It's a thing. It's
a big ass sucky.
It may be. I like that bait and switch. It is. It could be an alien. It could be a monster. Whatever. That's the nature of it. I think that's the excitement of it. Is that we don't know what it is, and I think that also kind of pissed people off as well, because I thought I was going to see aliens.
Fam, when we got to the end and I was actually seeing the shit being sucked in, I'm like, this shit like some plastic, bro. What the fuck is it? I can't lie. I was like,
I like that though. But
at the same time, I appreciate it as well because, fam, I think back to
that's more disturbing to me.
I think back to how they just tried shit back in like the 80s, early 90s, when it just came to expanding thrillers, sci-fi. They tried different shit. Why can we not give them the same grace today? Because the CGI is so good? Because the expectations are too high? No, sometimes this shit is a fucking alien that looks like a fucking inflatable man on the inside, just sucking shit up.
On the surface,
simple.
On the surface, what I would say, we've never seen anything like that before, and just the visual of it, of this thing sucking people up. And it is going through the body of this thing, and literally as it goes by, everybody that's not dead is still yelling, and you hear it.
Right.
That is fucking amazing to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, like you say, they get sucked up, and
everybody that looked at that shit too.
Right. Everybody
that's
that looks at it, and there's a reason why it does what it does as well. So he comes, he's seeing it. He sees an ad that the guy Juke came and brought earlier that he kind of just dismissed. So he's like, oh shit, he's feeding my horses to this thing. Let me go get my shit.
Yeah.
He goes and get his shit. Everybody is gone. 40 plus people has disappeared. So now it's like he puts 2 and 2 together. He's like, oh, so Juke did this. That's why this shit has been hovering over our area.
And this nigga dead as fuck now.
Right, now he's dead. 40 plus people is dead because he never learned his, the lesson from earlier in life. So yeah, so now they're gonna like this. Now
it's time to devise a plan.
Yeah, so they say, fuck it, we're still gonna do the plan. And also, Angel does this. Well, basically, they're like, okay, we can't rely on Angel for fries alone. So we'll bring in what's the guy's name? Holt. I think his name was Holt.
I'm gonna call that nigga the director.
Right. Well, he was a cinematographer that they had met on the commercial set. So we're gonna call him in so he can help as well.
And they was pretty smart because they knew to bring the right cameras. They brung a handheld camera that was really refreshing to see. I haven't seen nothing like that ever.
Right, because he knew that once
that digital shit,
once this thing went by, all electronic devices
not gonna have anything.
Right. So here comes the climactic scene. We're getting ready to. First, before that, there was a good conversation that was had. Basically, well, as a matter of fact, let me back up a little bit. So there was the thing I like about the OJ character again is all his life he was dealing with animals and things of that nature. So there was a scene where he's noticing like, oh, if I don't look at this thing, it's not going to mess with me. He was knocked out, he fainted. It never took him. So because he's so astute, he's so separated from everybody else. You can tell by the old ass flip phone that he has. Yeah. He's aside from. He's not really deep into social media and all this other stuff. He's a recluse to me. Right.
Straight recluse.
But that allows him to be more focused in on the situation at hand.
Yeah.
So much so as when the house gets destroyed, he goes to Angel House with his sister. Everybody's doing virtual reality except for him. Yeah. He's focused like, how do I do this? I'm not trying to escape what's going on now.
Yeah.
So
they devised a plan to get this whatever this shit is.
It's still an alien or
to die.
Whatever it is. Originally, the only thing they were supposed to do was set up the inflatable dancing men, and every time that he would go over that, they would fall, so they would know where it is because you can't see it from the sky.
Yeah,
so what they're supposed to do is just take pictures of it as it goes over. But TMZ motherfucker came through and fucked up the plan. So TMZ motherfucker came through, fucked up the plan. And OJ, being the good guy he is, tried to go out and save him. But the guy was so fixated on taking the picture and looking at it. Even if it wasn't him when he got hurt, you should take the picture of it. That way you can make a name for yourself. He's like, oh, fuck you. I'm going to leave now because you're going to get both of us killed. He gets sucked up. So that goes through, I think something happened to where that the cinematographer guy, he goes out, he's so strut on like getting the perfect shots. He's like, fuck it, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna
be out there,
and I'm gonna look straight at it and get a shot of this motherfucker. He gets sucked up. So now it gets to
just
the point.
Just not smart.
Right. So now everything is falling apart. Shit is fucking up. People are damn near dead, but they kind of make it out of it. Now it's a situation where it's like, okay, fuck it, we just need to figure out the way to destroy this. So now it's like, how do we do it?
Honestly, shit, their second plan was better than the first plan. Because I mean, it was a whole ass person with eyes, and that stupid shit thought that the thing had eyes, so it sucked it up. Little did you know.
It's no different than a dog. They don't know no motherfucking better. It's an animal. It's not a person. But, you know, I think the original, what they were doing, they were only trying to get the image of the video of it. The second was like, oh, okay, we fucked up. How about we just get rid of this thing?
Let's just get out of here.
Right. So what happens is, okay, Emerald takes the bike that the TMZ guy has, and he's going in the opposite direction. But it doesn't work unless the animal the thing is in another direction. Mm-hmm. So OJ takes his horse. He looks like a fucking badass cowboy. He has a crew jacket on. It says crew. I'm gonna get to that later. Why that's so important. And he goes in the opposite direction, allowing her to go in this opposite direction. Now, mind you, when you last seen the alien, it was fucked up. It's coming apart. It's not eating. It's going the opposite direction. It's spitting everything out of the sucking up. So now it goes in the opposite direction, but it's able to go back towards her now. Mm-hmm. So then she gets to the theme park. Then she lets off the balloon, and then it explodes inside the thing, and then it explodes. Mm-hmm. But also, Jordan Peele is so good with the writing. He set up something earlier. There's a whale that like a wishing well where you can take a picture with it. She's able to also not only set the balloon off and it explodes, she's able to use the well right then and there as it explodes. So, you know, that happens, and you know, she's relieved and she's happy. I need to save the fucking day. Right. And that pretty much wraps up that story and the destruction of the alien, and whether she got the picture or not. And then as the last the last scene or whatever is her like, okay, I'm happy. This is over with. And then you see in the distance, you see OJ, and then you see him on the horse come back. That's pretty much it. But I have a theory on that as well. So that's pretty much the story.
What, the theory of him just being on the horses?
Okay, no. So the theory of...
Because I did a little something.
Because we're going to have to wrap it up because we've been going. But I think theory on that, I really don't think he was alive.
Who?
I think he's dead. I think OJ is dead.
Huh.
OJ may be dead because when you see it, and I saw it again. When you see OJ... When you see Keke Palmer, she's like, and she's breathing and she's looking out. There's a sign that says over yonder in the park. And he's up under it. And the horse doesn't move. He's not moving. He's just standing there still. It's almost like an image. And you got to think about it. And I said it specifically in the review that we was just saying that the thing is like torn apart when you last saw it. And now it's back together. You got to think about it. There's no way him on that horse could have gotten away for him to say, okay, now I'm going to go back and get her. The only way it would have been back together had he sucked her up. Now, that's just a theory because we don't know. We still don't know, but if you go back and watch it,
this is what we're talking about. Right. I didn't think that far through. I promise you I didn't. So just to hear that theory is kind of crazy, and it makes sense. But like you said, we don't know. But I love movies like this because they create dialogue, they create conversation, and I think that that's what movies ultimately need to get back to. Like, we don't have to make a think piece for everything, but shit, just like we look at pictures on a wall and we interpret it, we should look at this art and talk about it in the same way. So Jordan Peele, shit, man.